Hi guys! I'm back for a new video today. I wanted to do a video about products that I've used, products that have helped us get pregnant, and maybe things that we did differently this time around as opposed to other cycles that helped get us pregnant, and then a quick little update at the end. So the products that I wanted to show you, I had a subscriber ask me if we did anything different this cycle, and if we did or didn't, to maybe make a video on that. So I think Rini Miranda 21, she asked, can you do a video on what you did this cycle? Did you do anything different? Honestly, this cycle, the thing that we did different was that we didn't do anything different. In the past cycles after our miscarriage and trying to conceive again, we tried some different things that we hadn't tried in the first go around. So I tried to mimic everything the same as we did when we got pregnant last year. But even with everything that I thought I was doing the same or incorporating, it didn't work. So this cycle, we did get pregnant, but I really just didn't do hardly anything. Definitely not anything different. So if I were to think about what could possibly have been a contributing factor to how we got pregnant this time and what might have been different is maybe the change in my supplements. So I've been taking prenatals ever since we first decided that we were going to start trying. So I originally went just to Costco and got the Kirkland brand prenatal vitamins plus DHA. I was taking those throughout my first pregnancy, and I did a little bit of research and saw some videos out here on YouTube, and there was a website that one of the videos had mentioned where they go in and grade all the prenatal brands out there, and the vitamin that I was taking, it wasn't bad. I think it was like a B- or something like that, but there was definitely some other prenatal supplements that were a lot better quality than mine. There's dogs out there. Oh, anyways, so I had switched in January to the Rainbow Light Prenatal 1, and that lasted me a good 5 months. That's actually a really good quality prenatal vitamin with everything in there, plus maybe some herbal supplements to help, like red raspberry leaf and things like that. If you're worried about that, then maybe not take that one and look into another one. But it was, I think it was like about $30 something, like $35, and it lasted me until, you know, June. So that's actually a pretty well priced one, a good, you know, bang for your buck kind of thing. But as time was passing by and we weren't getting pregnant, I was getting a little bit worried about maybe, you know, MTHFR. That's a mutation in your gene where you don't convert folic acid into methylfolate, which your body only absorbs methylfolate. So folic acid is a synthetic component, and it needs to be converted by your body into methylfolate in order to be absorbed properly. So some people, which I think is like 1 in 8 or something like that, have the MTHFR gene mutation of some sort, and your body just cannot convert that folic acid, so it just builds up as folic acid, and you never absorb that folate that you need. So when I was doing some research, there's testing that you can do, but it's really unnecessary for you to do the testing unless you have, like, you know, I don't know, like if you do like intense genetic testings and things like that. But you know, if you have a hunch that that might be something that you do have, a great way to like kind of go around that without dishing out the money to get that testing, because a lot of times insurance won't cover it, is to just get a prenatal vitamin that has methylfolate in it instead of folic acid. So I switched to this Mega Food one. This is pretty pricey. This is 120 tablets and there's only 60 servings. So you take 2 tablets a day I do it for like around like, you know, in the morning and then for dinner. But there's one, this is Baby and Me 2, so it's 2 tablets a day. And there is one, the original one, just the Baby and Me, is actually 4 tablets a day. And I just cannot, I mean, even taking 2 separate tablets a day is hard enough for me to remember. So I have to put alarms on my phone to remind me, but I can manage. You know, I know that it's a better quality prenatal for me, so I'm willing to do that. But it's only 60 servings, so 2 months worth for, I think this was like $37, and it was on sale. I think normally it's about $45. So I got 2 of these, and it says here that it's got all the vitamins, but the folate that it has is the 5-methylfolate, and it is from broccoli. So it says that, and it has about 600, I think it's micrograms, yeah, micrograms of folate in it. So I switched to this, actually I switched to this month in July. So when I went to go see the fertility specialist, I had asked him, should I continue to keep taking prenatal vitamins? And he said, yes, go ahead and keep continuing to take prenatal vitamins. And he mentioned, when you do get pregnant, if you haven't already, incorporate a DHA. So once I found out I was pregnant, I went out and got this Nordic Naturals. It's DHA. So it's 830 milligrams of omega-3, and it has 400 IUs of vitamin D3. So total omega-3s is 830, but it's got like EPA is 205 milligrams, DHA 480, and then other omega-3s 145. So it's non-GMO verified, it's like third-party purity tested, it comes from wild-caught anchovies, I think. Does it say? But it's from, yeah, it's from fish oils. I've seen anchovies and sardines, it says, yeah. So I've seen some DHA supplements that are from algae or some sort of plant-based DHA, but I just decided to go with this one. So I don't know a whole lot about the plant-based DHAs, so I think this is a pretty good brand. So I don't know. I just chose this one. They're fairly small. I mean, they're not tiny, but they're not gigantic. I've had ones that are like gigantic, and every time I would like be burping up like fish oil. Ugh, it was so gross. But I haven't had any of that with this. So the other thing that I had incorporated after I found out I was pregnant, which I should be taking anyways because everybody needs to be taking calcium supplements, but I already had these on hand, and these are the 500 milligrams calcium plus vitamin D, so it has 400 IUs of vitamin D in this as well. So now that I am pregnant, I definitely want to supplement my calcium so that my bones can stay strong and while I'm pregnant and the baby's not just taking all the calcium from my bones. So I take one of these 3 twice a day. So 1 calcium, 1 prenatal vitamin, 1 BHA twice a day. That gives me everything that I need. That gives me the 1,000 milligrams of calcium that's recommended. That gives me, let's see, this one gives, so it's, you know, 600 milligrams of folate, which my doctor at the fertility specialist recommends that we don't take any, I don't take any more than 400, I believe. It's either 400 or 600. So I know that a lot of prenatals out there, they have 800 milligrams of folic acid, and that's actually quite a lot. So there are some studies out there and some opinions by some doctors that the US, they just bombard you with folic acid, like, and it's almost like it's just like too much, you know. You can kind of like overdo it, especially if you're not you know, converting it into the folate, methylfolate. So if you are taking a prenatal supplement that maybe is a little bit low in folic acid or folate, or if you're trying to take a multivitamin that doesn't have a lot of folic acid in it and you want to supplement it with folate, this is a good one too. I did go out and get this one as well just because originally I thought while we were trying, before we get pregnant, I would just take a folate supplement, maybe a DHA omega-3, and you know, just call it a day and not have to spend so much money on a prenatal vitamin. But I ended up having to take it anyways. So this one is the 6S 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. So it's called, this is known as the quadrafolic. So, but it's already the type, it's already the converted folate that your body can automatically absorb. So you can kind of look for this one as well if you want. So those are my supplements. Did it help us get pregnant? I don't know. You know, I haven't been taking it very long. Honestly, I started taking it the day that I ovulated and possibly conceived, so I don't really know if it made a difference or not. But that's what I'm taking now, so I'll be taking those. Let's see. Other products that I've used in the past, with my previous pregnancy last year, I hands down thought that the reason why we got pregnant was because we changed one thing. And that one thing was using Preseed. So I had heard about Preseed, how, you know, sometimes if you don't have enough of the fertile cervical mucus, some women don't make enough of that. Or anyways, it's supposed to help make the environment in your lady parts down there suitable for sperm to survive and sperm to get up through the cervix to reach the egg. So I did try this last time when we got pregnant, and the cycle that we tried this for the first time, we did get pregnant. So I thought that this was probably the reason why we got pregnant last time. However, we had used this a couple of cycles after our miscarriage, and it didn't work. Well, you know, I don't know what else, I mean, what else could have been a contributing factor, but this cycle we did not use this. So I don't know. But if you want to try, or if you need something like a lubricating agent, this is one that's meant to be used for trying to get pregnant. So there's Preseed. I think it's like about $19 at Walgreens. You can get it on Amazon. So, you know, it's nice to have if you need it. One thing that we tried in one of our previous cycles, not this one, is trying to use a soft cup. So I had made a video about that cycle. I think I mentioned that we tried the soft cup. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if it helped keeping everything in there. It didn't just ooze out everywhere, but they come in these little packets, and I think that you can get them I found them at Walgreens, and they would come in a pack of, you know, like, I don't know, like 12 or something like that, 12 or 15. They come in a pack like this individually. They're one-time use, and they look like this. They're just like a little, you know, plastic thing. It's meant to be for your menstrual period, but anyways, it looks like this. So after you do the baby dance, you put this up in there, and it's supposed to hold all the spermies right up against your cervix. But we've tried this a couple cycles and it didn't work for us either. So this cycle we got pregnant, we did not use this either. So it's more like, what didn't we use, I guess, to get pregnant this time, because all these things that I have tried in the past didn't really work, and this one cycle that we chose not to do any of that, we got pregnant. So anyways, but a couple things that I have done ever since, for probably like the last year now, is it is very tedious and it is annoying to have to wake up every single day at the same time and take your temperature, but I swear by it because I know my cycle based off temping. So this is my little Nexcare temperature thermometer. It's, I think, to the 10th. So it just has to the 10th. And you need a basal body temperature that measures your body temperature to the 10th degree, because that is how you will be able to see the slight fluctuations in your temperature during your cycles. And every time I ovulate, my temperature spikes, and then I know that I have ovulated. So I use that, and then I use these Wondfo ovulation test strips. You can get a huge pack of these on Amazon for like 20 bucks. I think like 100 LH strips, and like I think it comes with like 25 or 50 pregnancy test strips as well. And I use these like crazy, because I use it like probably like twice a day during my fertile window, just to catch my surge, just to catch my LH surge. So I'll get a positive on these, and then the temping will confirm. So this will show me that I'm like coming up on my ovulation and I'm about to ovulate, and then this temperature temping will confirm that I did ovulate. So these two things I've used for a while now. If anything else I've, you know, sporadically used, these two things I've done every cycle for the last, you know, year and a half that we've been trying. So those are the things that some of the products that you guys could try to see if it can help. I definitely think that they can help you in every way, you know, possible. Who knows what it is actually going to be the changing point, whether you get pregnant or not, but I don't think it hurts to try these things. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Oh, and then, so yeah, going back to the original questions, what did we do differently? I think what we did differently was that we didn't do anything really. We didn't, you know, do all the crazy like Preseed on a certain time, or like putting a soft cup in there, and I don't know, things like that. We didn't really do that, but like I mentioned, I did switch to a prenatal that has actual methylfolate in it instead of the folic acid, just in case I was one of those people who have the MTHFR gene mutation. I wanted to kind of go around that by just taking folate instead of folic acid. My husband quit smoking cigarettes about 3 or 4 years ago now, but he switched to vaping. So if you know what vaping is, they're flavored nicotine liquid stuff that you put into like a tank, you know, like a vaping tank, I don't know, and then you smoke that. He's been doing that for a while, but he did quit smoking that too. So he's quit smoking altogether for at least the last 3 months, I would say. So that might have helped on his end. He had offered to quit that because we were having a hard time, and you know, that was something that he could do to help contribute to us getting pregnant. So he decided that he was going to quit if we weren't pregnant at a certain point, and we weren't, and then he decided he would quit. So that's been about 3 months. I think that might have helped on his end. He's been trying to take his multi-men's vitamin, and he doesn't take it every day, but at least he's trying, and that might have helped as well. What else was I going to say? There is a YouTuber on here. Her name is, let me look it up here real quick. Missfrenches, so Missfrenches, Missfrenches. I believe she's a Seattle-based vlogger as well. But she had made a video about her and her husband's TTC sex routine and what worked for them getting pregnant. She published this about almost 2 years ago, but I remember watching this video, and she's very specific, detailed. So it's not for the faint of heart. Like, she's gonna tell you what positions, how often, you know, every single little detail that her husband and her did to get pregnant. And she's gotten pregnant several times this way. And I watched that video sometime last year, I think, either after or before we got pregnant last year. But anyways, I think the tips and tricks that she you know, mentioned in that video, it is pretty valid. So I think if you want to know about those kind of things, you should check out her video. I'll try to link it down in the description box below. But one of the details that she had mentioned in that video was don't get sexually aroused and excited before your partner ejaculates, because it changes the pH and the environment in your vaginal cavity to make it so that it's like not suitable for the sperm to survive, I guess. So she goes into detail about that. You guys should go and watch that video. But instead, once everything is done and you're just waiting, like, you know, laying there for like 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes or whatever, she mentions that she will then orgasm as much as she can or something like that. So one minor detail, I guess, that I think could have made the difference is that this cycle, I made sure during our fertile window that I laid there for at least, you know, 25-30 minutes afterwards, which you don't necessarily have to lay there that long. Like 5-10 minutes is just fine too, but to each their own, you know. Usually, like, say if it's at nighttime, I would just, you know, just go to bed. So, but I use that tip. So I would try to, you know, doing that will help, you know, bring the sperm up into your cervix, I guess, is the thing. So that's supposed to help kind of the sperm get to where they need to go. So that probably is one of the biggest things that worked, because I did that. So anyways, check out her video. She goes into more detail about that. So you guys can check that out. Today I'm 4 weeks and 4 days pregnant. I went in for my second blood work test for HCG and progesterone, and my results came back. It's supposed to double within the time frame. So Monday I went in and it was 110.1 HCG with a 9.93 progesterone. I had mentioned that I thought that progesterone level was kind of low, and we agreed to go in for a second test, blood work test, to confirm if it was staying low or if it had risen. So when I went in for the second blood work, my results for HCG came back at 349, which is more than doubled, so that's good. It's rising appropriately, they said. And my progesterone was at 10.75. So the progesterone didn't rise a whole lot, and it kind of was hovering around the same level as it was last time. So my doctor decided that he was going to put me on Prometrium. I forget what it's called. Maybe I should look it up. Okay, so it's called endometrin. And it's 3 tabs a day vaginally. And I think I'm supposed to do it for the next few weeks here. So I'm supposed to be getting that on Monday. There was a little bit of a mix-up with my insurance, so I won't be getting it. I won't be getting it until Monday. So I did go out and I grabbed some progesterone cream to help, because it kind of made me a little bit worried that they wanted me to start it right away. They gave me the prescription on Thursday, but then there was an issue. Well, they gave me the prescription on Friday, and then there was an issue with my insurance, so then now it's the weekend and I can't get it until probably next week, Monday, Tuesday. So I did go grab some progesterone cream, and I'm going to use that at least for the next couple days. I used it today and I'll use it tomorrow and Monday. And I'm hoping that that will kind of help just for the time being, because my nurse did express how they wanted me to get it right away. So hopefully I can get that. So I will be starting that progesterone on Monday, and I'm hoping that everything will be fine. I do go in on Friday, this coming around Friday, July 28th, either Friday or Saturday. I may have to reschedule it, but for our first ultrasound, it's a little bit early, but because they're basing my cycle based on like the first day of my menstrual period, it's just a little bit off. So they want me to come in sooner than later. Even though I ovulated late, and really I would be about 5.5 weeks along by Friday, and they want me to come in at the 6.5 week mark, but because they're calculating it by my first day of my menstrual period, I would be around 6.5 weeks technically. So I'm gonna go in for a first ultrasound on Friday, and hopefully they'll let me know if I need to continue the progesterone, or I don't know if they're gonna see me for follow-up blood work, but I will start the progesterone on Monday and we'll go from there. But I'm very excited. My tests are still very dark, and no, I'm not testing like a crazy maniac anymore, but I'm just nervous, so I just like to check once in a while. But I feel some symptoms coming up. Right when I hit the 4-week mark, I had some symptoms come up. So maybe I'll do, I'm gonna do some weekly updates from here on out. So I will do my 4-week pregnancy update and symptoms on my during my 5 weeks. So once the week is over, then I will make a video about that prior week. So, and I don't know if I'm going to do that for every week because it might be repetitive, but we'll just see how it goes. So I'm excited for doing the bump dates now, and I will see you guys soon. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will do my best to address them. Thanks. Bye.